All aboard. Africa is there. And Tinubu wants to pin it on IPOB. Do you see how evil these men are? But our God is fighting for us. That is why we receive all. They don't even have this intelligence we do. I know where they're buying weapons now, Fulani. Fulani can never fight a war on their own. And I told you that all the barracks you see in the east, they're empty. Nobody wants to join their army. That is why they're drafting people from Baguchi. If you claim that 82 division in Enugu is strong, Obinze is strong, or Hafe is strong, or Nacha is strong, they are all there to intimidate all of you into submission. That the Fulanis may rule over you. That's all. There are no men. They have to go, and now they are recruiting terrorist groups to come and fight for them. You must understand what is happening. Therefore, it never came to me as a surprise. Katrina Lang, the UK High Commissioner to Nigeria, wants the Igbo race to be wiped out. The same way people want the Jews to be killed. Any day our people rise up to recognize and understand this, the better for all of us. Some people want us dead. Not that we have done anything to them. No, not at all. But because United Kingdom believes that the coming of Biafra will herald the coming of Christ, that the world will come to an end. Any day the black man acquires reason. Any day the black man can build a car. Any day the black man can feed himself. That day the world will come to an end. That's what they believe in. And they know that it is Biafra that holds the key. They understand that very well. That is why it never came to me as a surprise that after Katrina Lang visited the arch-traitor Joseph Carlo, the very amorphous, headless monster known as Fulani Caliphate declared effectively the Second Biafran War. Something tells me, as I told you earlier, that the timing of this war on Biafra has something to do with Britain. Because in like 1967, Israel today is at war the same way they were at war when Nigeria attacked Biafra in 1967. They now want to use it as a cover to commit genocide. And I'm telling Biafrans tonight that we are effectively on our own. We have been given two choices by the United Kingdom, the slave masters and the colonizers. The UK have given us only two alternatives. And I call it the devil's alternative, of course. We either submit to the will of their puppets, the Islamic Caliphate, or we will be wiped out from the face of this very earth. The question you must ask yourself tonight as a Biafran, as a Southerner is, do you want to be a slave to the Fulani Caliphate, or do you want to die on your feet? Live for 1,000 years on your knees, as most of them are doing without even knowing it, or you die on your feet. The devil's alternative. Whichever option we choose, men are going to die. Which one do you prefer? Are we going to fight and die like men? Or are we going to submit to a life of Allahu Akbar? It's entirely up to you. The time is now because the enemies, they have come. I didn't say they are coming, they have not come into our land. And as I promised them, if God is on our side, which I know He is on our side, this army of Nigeria will die in Biafra land. That is how God intended it to happen. Many of us are going to die. And I'll be leading it myself, mind you. Many of us are going to die. But Biafra is going to come. And everything called Nigeria will perish in Biafra land. The world must be prepared for what is to come. We are not going to be slaves in our land. I want to let Katrina Lang, the UK government, to understand this. That we have chosen the path of death than to submit to the will of the Fulani Caliphate. Death is better for us. People are dying every day. They're not human beings. People are dying every day. Are we better than them? Those who are dying, are we better than them? We must develop the mindset of the Afghanis. In that is why Afghanistan cannot be taken. It doesn't matter the firepower you have. NATO is in Afghanistan. Have they taken Afghanistan? The answer is no. You are coming to kill us, but we are also going to die together in the land of Biafra. Let anybody say I did not warn them, because things are going to start happening in the next 14 days. When it starts happening, Ifulefus may talk and yap and write their rubbish. But now that the Fulanis are kidnapping our people, disappearing us, killing people in truckloads, nobody's talking. We must make our land impregnable for them. And that will involve a lot of destruction. I'm saying it live on air so that all of you will understand. To slow the advance down, we need to destroy a lot of things. We must destroy a lot of things. That is how all of you will come to your senses to understand that we are in a state of war. They want to circle us. They are using the fulefus amongst us to try to be, assuaging your, should I say, your bruised egos, all of you, writing no rubbish about one Nigeria. From next 2 weeks, we are going to start dying for what we believe in. Not 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. We are going to die en masse, and we are going to take them with us. By the time the slaughter happens, it will be so intense that you see that CNN, they'll come to Biafra to cover this very war. That is about to happen. You see CNN, all of them running away from Biafra, they will cover it by force, because we are going to kill every Nigerian soldier on Biafran soil will die. God is my witness. And I will lead this very army myself. I want the UK to understand that we have chosen to die than be slaves. At the end of this newly declared war against Biafrans, many of us will perish, but out of these very ruins, Biafra is going to rise up again to the eternal glory of Chukwu in heaven, that his will may be done on earth as it is in heaven. I want them to understand. Let it not be tomorrow people say, but the suicide bombing is not part of our nature. It's not our life. It's not our culture. Now that Fulani are there, we are going to die with them. We are Biafrans, as they will say, being a Liverpool fan. What we do in life echo in history, as they sing. What you achieve in life will echo, because it's appointed unto man to die only but once. Earlier I was mentioning Mandela, I mentioned George Washington, I mentioned Oliver Cromwell, I mentioned Mugabe, I didn't even know if I mentioned Castro or not. All these were called terrorists. They are all dead, but they are immortal, because we still mention them till this very day. We crave immortality, and in 14 days it will start. Don't say I did not warn you, please. Don't say I didn't warn you. Fulani brought war to our land. All we asked them to do was to leave our forest and go and live in the township, rent a house and live in the town, bring down your nama, sell it, and do whatever you want to do with it. You cannot stay in our forest. You cannot stay there. If you stay there, you will die. That is the only crime that Eastern Security Network committed. Nobody can tell us today if their mosque has been bombed by ESN or any church or any village or anyone, nothing. So these people you're calling terrorists, what is their crime? Because they said that we cannot take over their land. That is the crime of ESN and IPOB by extension. As I told you a few weeks ago, the Janjaweed have opened the floodgates of hell. And unto thy hands, O Elohim, we commit our spirit. As they will say in one very popular movie, those of us who are about to die, we salute you. Because the land of Biafra will be defended with the blood of anything that moves. Rather than the Fulani to take over Biafra land, there will be no living organism in that very place. I am warning every traditional ruler, every governor, every senator to understand what I'm saying this night and take it on board. And do not quote me out of context. If you want to be a Fulani slave, go to the Middle Belt and join them there. All of you can be slaves to one Nigeria. That is your business. You say the land of Biafra, we cannot surrender to anyone. Now, I don't want anybody to lament. Oh, they have killed us here. Don't stop lamentation. All we need is action. Not Rambo-style action. If you want to know how Britain ran away from Israel, go and read the book. Just Google it and say, how was it possible that the state of Israel was established, despite hostilities from everywhere, surrounded by enemies? But they still succeeded because they blew them out of Palestine. Or they call it Palestine, which was a name, just as they're calling us now, Southeast. They don't want to call us our name Biafra. After the Romans took over the Holy Land, they named it Palestine because they said that the Jews were too stubborn. They erased the name Israel and called the place Palestine. That's what they do. Because when somebody wants to completely overwhelm you, they change your identity for you. And if you're a very stupid black person, as most of us are, of course, in Africa, you swallow your new name, hook, line, and sinker. Israel was named Palestine by the Romans that came and burnt the temple down because of rebellion, that they were too rebellious. The same thing they tried to do to us. We must be very, very strong. Go and ask them how they did it. They blew them away from there. Not all this Rambo on the road. Every road leading into Biafra land will be mined. Everything that is Nigerian, whatever police or army that steps on our road will blow it to thy kingdom come. Very neat and simple. And I will make a cowboy and Rambo. We don't need that rubbish. We destroy everything destroyable. We need to force them. I said before, when we drive away the Fulani terrorists, from our bushes, they will bring in their army. We will kill their army. They will start throwing bombs from the air. After that, they will leave us alone. I'm telling you, you mark my words, that's how it's going to happen. When I told you that we will defeat Mietiala, did you believe me? When I said we will drive away Mietiala from our land, did you believe me? We did it without the help of any governor, no politician, nobody. This great family, this IPOB, Chineke Goziun and Dioma, Chineke. We are dying, isn't it? At least we are dying for what we... How about those being killed by Fulani Janjaweed in the Middle Belt? They died for nothing. They're not fighting for anything. They're not fighting for their independence. Nothing. They're just in the farm and they're killed. For you to die in the cause of defending your country, your nation, is the greatest accolade anyone can have in this life. You must understand that. From today, we must stop lamenting on social media and engage ourselves in activities that will slow down the enemy. We know where they're coming from, always from three sides. They'll try to come from Kogi, they will come from Ebonyi axis, they will come from Enugu. Only three sides they can come from. Only, nothing else. We slow them down. We destroy everything destroyable to slow them down so we can kill them. They're not trained in war because they're not patriotic. These are terrorists. What inspires them is some stupid quotes in the Quran. What inspires us is the gift that God gave to us. That this land of Biafra is ours. In perpetuity. No one can take it from us. No idiot can. We are in a state of war. Every scientist, everybody must come out now to begin to prepare. We are going to dig our trenches. We are going to amass everything that we have built so far to prepare to repel the invaders. Every DSS office that we know of, every army cantonment or barracks that we know of, will be placed under surveillance. And we must begin to deal with them as we lay our hands on them. Because before I came on air today, I wanted to apologize to white people. You know, before I used to be very angry about against slavery, against colonialism and all the rest of it. But in a way, today I want to apologize to Europeans and to Americans that enslaved black people. Because I have come to believe that the best thing that ever happened to we black people is slavery and European colonization. It's tongue-in-cheek, if you understand. It's sarcasm, if some of you can actually absorb it. Sometimes I wonder what would have become of us had Europeans not mercifully sold us as slaves, colonized us, or given us limited knowledge with which we are making mouth today, boasting. I went to school. I went to Harvard. I went to Princeton. Oh, God. Because I believe very strongly that we black people, we are a disgrace to humanity. Shameful. If with all our education, claims of patriotism, and goodness knows what else, we are still being fooled that Buhari is alive, then no black man deserves freedom. The black race, I believe, as somebody said a while ago, I don't know if it was in Powell, I don't know who it was that said that Africa should be colonized again and dominated forever. Maybe they have a point. It seems to me that black people are intellectually inferior to every other race in the world. As I tweeted, was it yesterday, without Nigerians, I wouldn't have known how easy it is to fool and deceive black people. Since our brain cannot even interpret what our eyes can see, how is it possible that we can transform our society to serve our needs? It's not possible. If when you see something, you can even interpret what you're looking at. We are foolish, but old and young. But in Biafra, we're going to redeem ourselves. Because it seems to me that we have eyes, but we cannot see. We lack the capacity to engage the relevant sections of our brain that has to do with critical analysis. That is why Fulani can come to and say to you, IPOB is a terrorist group. You, as a southern journalist that went to school, a journalist that went to school, you will say, instead of you to ask the government, but what did IPOB do for you to outlaw them? When Mietiala is going about killing, raping, and maiming people, you are outlawed, proscribed, outlawed. You can't ask questions because you don't have conscience. That part of our brain that has to do with critical thinking and analysis, in black people, I don't think it is working. When you see something that is beautiful, don't you say that thing is beautiful? You may not have been to Niagara Falls. You may not have been to Budukato Ranch. You may not have been to Uguta Lake. You may not have been to, I don't know, Otampa River. You may not have been to... But when you see beauty in nature, the first thing you do is to acknowledge it. When you see a handsome man, a beautiful woman, you don't need anybody to tell you that this thing is beautiful. You will say, oh, but this woman is so beautiful. Or this television is so pretty. Do you know why? Because your brain automatically identifies anything that is beautiful. That is how human beings are created. You may not have seen that thing before. As one old woman taught me, once your eyes behold something beautiful, your eye, oh my God, this is so beautiful. Because that part of your brain is still functioning. Which means that everything bright and beautiful, your brain will automatically tell you that that thing is beautiful, isn't it? Anything that is bright and is wonderful, like the rainbow, you say, oh my God, or a sunset in the morning, or sunrise, you say, how beautiful this is. Because your brain is telling you it's beautiful. You don't need anybody to tell you. The same thing goes for anything that is ugly. If you can stand up and behold something and say, oh, this is so beautiful, you can also rise up and say that this thing is very ugly, it is evil, it is bad. This brings me to the phenomenon of the dead, late Buhari, and the successful attempt to deceive all of you so far in this zoological republic. Let me leave out the more complex, interpretations of the various masked wearers of the Fulani cabal that they periodically bring out to deceive all of you. semi-animals claiming you're educated, and focus on the very simple ones that prove to me that black people, especially Nigerians, are lower than wild animals. I cannot compare a wild animal to a Nigerian because that means insulting animals. I'm telling you the truth. And why am I saying this? Because of the case of Buhari, the dead Buhari. I don't know why some of you will stand in front of the mirror and look at yourselves and call yourselves human beings. With the same eyes, you look at the picture or the video, the channel's television interview of this little boy with his hands, very fresh hands, like that of a 25-year-old. You saw his nose, that the mask tore. The part of the nose where the mask should be had cut off from the main nose itself. The nose was looking like that of Michael Jackson, a crumbling nose. All of you saw it. You saw his hands. And you are learned, you're educated. You still claim that that thing is Buhari. For the life of me, I can't understand. I mean, if you say that that thing in front of Channels Television is Buhari, may God have mercy upon your soul. That means that everything that Ku Klux Klan have been saying about black people is true. That these people are beasts, they cannot be, even when they say the truth, they cannot stand up to say that this is what it should be. I want to know why Nigerians, having seen the hands of this little boy and the nose that is crumbling, you have all seen the obvious flaws in the mask that the Janjaweed have given to these boys to wear. You still cannot bring yourselves to ask a simple question. Do you know the person that you saw the other day? Is that little boy called Tatagwe? He used to be a comedian. He's an Igbo boy. I think he was born and raised in Zaria. You know that boy that used to mimic Buhari? Why haven't you asked yourself, where is that boy? Zoological Republic. Why haven't you asked yourself? That time, his name is, I think it's Tagwe, they call him. Why have you not asked yourself, where is that comedian that used to mimic Buhari called Tagwe? Do you know what they did to him? They took him to Asarok. They gave a Fulani girl to him, converted him to Islam. So you don't know? Of course. So because they know that Yusuf Abubakar Muhammad is useless, cannot speak. Once in a while, they bring Tagwe to come out. That is why his English, he cannot hide the flawlessness of his English. Are you listening to me? Have you ever wondered why Nigerians, having seen the hole in the neck of somebody they refer to as their president, still failed to ask the question, Mr. President, how did you develop this hole in your neck? If you go to Guardian newspaper archives, if you go to Punch newspaper archives, if you go to all they have it. You can see a man with a hole in his neck. You know, when I ponder all these things, when I pray, I keep asking God, were black people in your plans when you were making man? Or did something go wrong somewhere? Somebody that did not have a hole in his neck yesterday, all of a sudden one morning, developed a hole in his neck. And the people that claim they are his citizens or whatever cannot even ask, but what is this hole doing on? Did you have any surgery or were you breathing from your neck and they failed to close it? And these are people that want good roads and electricity and good governance. In any system that claims to have regard for the well-being of the people, such an obvious defect in the appearance of their so-called number one citizen should have attracted a lot of attention. Anywhere in the world. Can you see Biden? Only that Biden fell down climbing the steps of Air Force One. It was everywhere. Can you imagine Biden coming out tomorrow at the Rose Garden of the White House with a hole in his neck? What do you think will happen? What do you think will happen? Black people, this UG black. Why can't you ask yourself this simple question? What caused that hole in his neck? Now, if you're telling us that this man is 82 years old, how come his hands looks as fresh as that of my grandchild? Simple questions, but you can't answer them, or you can't even ask them to start with. That is what makes you a black person. And that is the difference between you and the white people. You see, in all those countries where they have 24 hours of electricity, where there is running water, where there is free healthcare, free housing, if you present somebody like this claiming he's Buhari, they will ask questions in public. That is the difference between white and black people. And that is why they are still controlling us till this very day. You know, sometimes it is easier, I should say, to deceive people than to educate them. Especially those who have been enslaved and deceived. That's why so many people don't want to learn about the evil that is going on in Asarok. Even when you see it, you don't want to say, oh, bring 2023. Let 2023 come so another person can go in. Typical black people. And you keep wondering why you are poor. You keep wondering why God has abandoned all of you. You keep wondering why you have no good roads. You keep wondering why you go out and the army will kill you and nobody will talk. You keep wondering why you be in your home and the police will come and kill everybody and nobody will talk. There is a picture that is in circulation. I tweeted it. Please go to my Twitter handle or page and see it. I tweeted a picture that was released by Channels Television, not from me, Channels TV. In fact, God so kind, there is a video. I want everybody to pay attention to the masked, crumbling nose and young, fresh hands of this latest version of an 82-year-old dead Buhari. An 82-year-old man looking so young and so fresh. Now, the question any sensible person will ask is this. Anywhere in the world, I believe even white people will ask is this. If such transformation that so-called Buhari went through that turned him from 82 years to now 33 years, if it exists, why is it that Bill Gates is not looking like an 18-year-old? Or even Biden, the strongest man in the world, allegedly? Or even Tifunubu, that not only looks old, but very, very ugly at that? Don't you think that all of them would have opted for a more youthful appearance to coincide with, even Tinubu from 79 to 69? If it were possible for him to make himself appear young and look 69, he would have done it. He would have done it, but he cannot do it. Because who you have in Asorok is not Buhari. Buhari is dead long time ago. Look at his hands. I want any Nigerian to look at the hands of that little boy and tell me that that boy is Buhari. Just look at the hands. And don't take the picture, because it's Photoshop. Go and play the original Channels Television interview and you will see it. He kept pulling at his nose mask. Now, because we lambasted them. Because of the pomo ear, they're not tying it around his neck. None of you can ask questions. Chai, this UG. One of my greatest regrets in life is being born a black person. Because sometimes I wake up in the morning and I'm thinking to myself, how can I be thinking this way? And there must be other people capable of thinking the way that I'm thinking. How can you say that somebody is Buhari? He cannot put his mask around his ear. It's around his neck. You can see the nose, the double fold nose crumbling. You can see it is the mask that tore. Yet you cannot ask questions. You are there. You are looking at the fresh hands. The fresh hands. If whatever Buhari went through was possible to make him turn him from being 82 to 33, why didn't Prince Philip do the same thing? Queen Elizabeth of England. Why didn't Queen of England do the same thing for her husband that just died? But because we are Africans, they can deceive Efulefus and Nigerians, but they cannot deceive IPOB. It is we black people that destroyed ourselves with our own hands. Nigeria is a typical example. I will no longer blame any white person. I will not even blame anybody. You see, Ku Klux Klan, all these racist groups, I can never blame them anymore. Because one day I was thinking to myself, a white man just can't be racist for the sake of it. Why are they not being racist towards Japanese people? It is now, it is dawning on me that we are the reason why people are racist towards us. Our behavior and our way of thinking. We black people destroyed ourselves with our own hands. These people have made a mockery of their own constitution. If they cannot obey their own laws that says that once the president dies, the vice or deputy takes over, how do you expect the rest of the animals in the zoo to obey the constitution? Fulani Janjaweed, I'm asking you this question. Fulani Kabal, you have disobeyed the constitution. Buhari died on the 27th day of January 2017. Instead of you to swear Osibanjo in as the president, you kept a mannequin, moving one idiot from place to place. That is why there is no live address. They cannot address you live. They cannot do any walkabout. Nobody can visit them. Nothing. This you black people, you are the cause of your own problems. And everything is in your brain. The way you reason, the way you approach issues, the way you analyze issues is the reason why you are poor. That is why it appears as if the whole of the world hates you. They call you nigger, they call you all sorts of names, not because they hate you, but because you hate yourself. The way you reason and the way you behave. We destroyed ourselves with our own hands. Even in Nigeria, the Fulani that wrote the constitution cannot even obey it. If you demand for DNA tomorrow morning, they will give you restructuring. Those of you asking for it, just ask for the DNA of that idiot. Just come out and say it. And you see they will give you restructuring overnight. They can deceive you people, but not us. A dead man that should have been replaced now has a mask. Anybody can wear that mask with a rumpled nose, shamelessly telling us that he wants to invade the East. We have agreed on a new measure to invade the East. Somebody who is not a Nigerian. Somebody who is not who you voted for, or you claim you voted for. A little boy of less than 33 years of age, claiming he's 82. When they look at that, they say these are idiots, let us kill all of them. Janjaweed thought by removing the mask from, they thought by not anchoring the mask on the ear and putting it around the neck that somehow they will find a way to circumnavigate all the mysteries surrounding the death of Buhari. There is a girl I want to ask a question. Of course, anyway, her name is Yusuf. She's Yoruba, but she's Yoruba Muslim. Maybe Yoruba Lauren, those that are conquered by Flamijan. That girl on Channels TV called, is it Maokwe? Her son of is Yusuf from Makadiga Mama. Yusuf. And there's another Yoruba Fulani journalist. I don't know her name. What's her name again? That used to work for Adeola. That girl that used to work for Sahara Reporters. Where are they now? Please send that picture to them and ask them. I want people to tweet that very picture, tag these people, and ask them, is this the hand of an 82-year-old man? My good friend and brother, of course, happy birthday to you, Dele Momodu, that said he is Buhari. People should send that very picture to Dele Momodu and ask him, Dele, is this Buhari that you know? In fact, just ask him, is this the hand of an 82-year-old? Look at your own hand, you are 61. Is your hand as fresh as this one? Because I told you before, you cannot, there's no way you can do plastic surgery on the hand. It will always show. That is why if you're putting on bleaching cream, the first place you'll be exposed are the knuckles of your hands, because your hand cannot lie. That is why God placed palm print on your hand. It cannot lie. Akaraka. Do you know that? Do you know people like Lawan, the Speaker of the Senate, people like Hope, people that use bleaching cream, the way you know that a woman or a man is using bleaching cream is by the knuckles, the hand. There's no remedy. You cannot deceive the hand. Your face can accept bleaching cream, but you see your hand will never accept it. After a while, it will burn. Your knuckles will burn. They cannot perform surgery on the hand to make it look old. Nobody can. The best way to tell somebody's age is by looking at the back of your hand. Once you're over 70, you see wrinkles. You cannot do surgery to remove them. It's impossible. How can somebody who is 82 not have wrinkles? and you say that that person is your president. You say Mr. President is in Asorok. And you want me to regard you as a human being. How is that possible? When I say it now, you say I'm insulting you. I want people to send that picture to that girl called Adeola. I don't know. It's always Yoruba people defending Janjaweed. I don't know why. And the one called Maope Yusuf for Channels Television. Adeola. Send those pictures to these two Yoruba girls and ask them a simple question. Is this the hand of an 82-year-old man? A very simple question. And the zoo will begin to crumble before your eyes. You know, our people don't know how to fight this very battle. They have no idea. Hey, give us the structuring. Who are you begging to give you? So, by begging Fulani to give you the structuring, that means that Fulani are the owners of Nigeria. That is something you don't know. We serve, we demand restructuring. Demand it from who? By virtue of you saying that you are demanding for restructuring, it means that you are acknowledging that somebody is holding it. And that person holding it, they are, or should I say, the people holding it, they are the owners of Nigeria. Oh my goodness me. A country that believes that cockroaches can keep a president and commander-in-chief out of his office locked out for months on end deserves not to exist. You people are the same Nigerians that Abba Kyari told you that rats and cockroaches prevented the president from accessing his office upon his return from medical whatever in London. And all of you believed it. Commander-in-chief of the armed forces being kept away from his office by cockroaches. Hey, this UG, black people. Black people. They say that monkeys swallowed bags of money. Snakes. You know, so, seriously, yesterday I was thinking about this, you know. Cockroaches kept the president away from his office. Go and Google it. There's his headline. All of you accepted it. That was when they were changing the biometric on the door because nobody can enter into it. It was built by Babangida. It was the Mossad that told Babangida to build such bunker. So that any military coup is futile. You'll be there until help will come from the outside world. So they need to scan your retina and your thumbprints to enter there. When Buhari died, they forgot to cut off his finger, his right thumb, or bring back his head to scan his retina. That was why they had to destroy it, and it took about 3 months to do. And during that 3 months, he walked from his village in Daura. His cockroaches are there. There are too many. A country that cockroaches defeated an army, the presidential guard. Does that country deserve to exist? You know, white people go through all these things, and after going through them, they look at you niggas. They'll be wondering, oh, do you know that cockroaches kept their president away from the office? In this UG, I won't meet people again. No. And I cannot, God forbid. People are too dumb for me. While I was pondering this show of shame by the Fulani Janjaweed Caliphate and their partners in crime, the Yoruba media, it dawned on me that God must have made a very serious mistake by creating black people. To refer to black Nigerians as animals would be an insult to animal kingdom. Just like referring to Nigeria as a zoo is an insult to zoo animals that have 24 hours electricity and running water. To be honest with you, my dear brothers and sisters, I am tired of the idiocy of black people. I'm tired. Without the coming of the white people, I do not honestly know what would have become of us. In this day and age, cockroach, you kept your president away from office for 3 months. Somebody's hands is looking like as fresh as in Nnamdi. As fresh as in Nnamdi's hands. That is how somebody who claims he's 82 years and people are there claiming, oh God in heaven. God in heaven. Black people are bad, this UG. Let me even ask you, why do you, I want to ask this question. Black people, why do you love evil so much? Why do you support evil? Why can't you wake up one morning and decide to be good? And call a spade a spade? I just want to know, black people, why? Black people, why are you so much in love with evil? They kill other people's children, you're not moved. Even to ask. Under what circumstances? No, you don't even ask. When white people kill you, you start complaining. I don't believe that whites are racist, I don't believe it. It's because of the wickedness of black people. We are too wicked. The most wicked race that God ever made. Black. Is that wickedness that blinds you from the truth. That is why you see a little boy on Channels TV. All of you saw the video. The nose was crumbling. You are crumbling. He bent down to pray during the salah. You can see the base of the mask at his back. You can see it. His punishment, I can't question to go, but this is punishment, I'm telling you. It's punishment. How can I be amongst people who are so foolish that to ask? So if you don't want to know what the hands of in fact, from tonight, cut out the hand of that boy from the pictures. Go and Google 82-year-old hand. Go and publish it everywhere, that the world may see. Oh, God in heaven. To refer to black people as Nigerians, in fact, as animals, is insulting the animals. And Fulani hypocrisy is what is going to kill them. Fulani hypocrisy is what is going to kill them. Let me tell you, they said they wrote a letter. The mask wearing Fulani. Oh, this, do you know why Fulani can do whatever they want to do and get away with it? Because all of you allowed them. When Buhari died and they brought in Jubril and put a mask on his face and convinced you that he is Buhari, that was the day that Fulani knew that they can take all of you and nothing will happen. If you don't know, let me tell you. That was the day Fulani realized that he can take all of you. Nothing will happen to them. Anytime I preach about the idiocy of black people, these social media companies, they will take offense to it. But I'm a black man, and we are very, very foolish. The most stupid race ever to walk the face of the earth. De-escalate hostilities. Federal government urges Israel and Palestine. Fulani writing to themselves. Let me read it for you so you will laugh. The federal government of Nigeria has said it is monitoring the unfolding developments with Israel and the state of Palestine. According to a statement by the spokesperson for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ferdinand Nwoye, the federal government urged both parties to de-escalate. Oh, you are urging them to de-escalate, but you are sending army to come to the east to kill people. Do you see how foolish we are? They are writing. It was started by Punch, their favorite paper, Punch. It's a Janjaweed, you pro Janjaweed Yoruba newspaper. According to a statement by their spokesman for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ferdinand Nwoye, the federal government urged them to de-escalate. But in Nigeria, where you are escalating violence and conflict. But you are writing to Israel and Palestine, asking them to de-escalate. Such idiocy. From the zoo. They urged the two parties to remain committed to the two-state solution and to ensure that all citizens live in peace and dignity. Are you listening? Nigeria advising Israel that they should ensure that all citizens live in peace and unity with dignity. But you're asking us to give you land for Ruga, for Miet Yala. You're telling us that they are your brothers, your misguided brothers. But you're telling Israel, a civilized, advanced, blessed country, to de-escalate. But in your own land, you are escalating. Anyone, this your black people now, this UG, what do you expect? Dear me. Let me read a paragraph from the letter that will make you laugh. if you're in the zoo called Nigeria. Now listen, the letter went on to say, the federal government further urges the two parties to remain committed to the two-state solution and in the meantime, guarantee the rights of all citizens to live in, guarantee the rights. So you people know what the rights of citizens are. Yet to protest is a crime in Nigeria. To say you want self-determination is a crime in Nigeria. But you're advising Israel. Are you sure that these people are okay? Anyway, but they're black people. Why am I disturbing myself? One this black. Very, very sad indeed. Can you just imagine these cow brains? Are they for real? At least in the case of Israel and Palestine conflict this time around, Hamas were the people that fired rockets first. Maybe what is happening to black people is now happening to human. Israel was on their own and Hamas started firing rockets at Israel. And Israel had to respond with overwhelming force. Now, despite the fact that Hamas were the first to fire rockets at the state of Israel, the letter from Fulani Janjaweed Caliphate in Asorok is de-escalate. They never blamed Hamas for firing rockets at Israel first. No. And that is not the topic of discussion tonight. It is called context. I want people to contextualize. I want you to put into, I want people to put into context the case of IPOB and federal government of Nigeria. Hamas fired rockets at Israel. Israel responded. Nigeria said, de-escalate. Please guarantee the rights of citizens. I now want to ask Nigeria, did IPOB fire anything at you? Did we even fire ordinary catapult at you before you sent your army to come and kill us? A very simple question. If you're asking those exchanging rockets to de-escalate, what did we do to you to warrant Operation Python Dance 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the massacre of the innocent? What happened? What did we do? In the court of law, if mankind still has any conscience, they will ask you, but what did IPOB do to you? What physical harm did they bring to you? You say, oh, they are asking for Biafra, but Nigeria must be one. That's our crime. But Hamas fired rockets at Israel. You're pleading for, you're asking for peace, for guarantee of rights of citizens. But we did nothing to you. The world will ask the zoo, but what did they do to you? What did Nnamdi Kanu do to you before you arrested him in 2015? Before you went to Mpo to massacre people, what was the crimes of those youths? What did they do? Did they fire a rocket at Asorok? The answer is no. Now, when you live in a society that fails to rationalize the rights and the wrongs of what the government of Nigeria is doing to agitators, then you don't deserve to be called a human being. What did we do? You are asking Israel to take it easy on Hamas that fired rockets and killed citizens. Where did we fire rockets at you before you decided to invade our land with Mietiala? Now you understand, don't you? Now, can anybody tell me, please, or any mentally unstable Eastern intellectual or Yoruba sophisticated moron tell me which rocket or missile IPOB fired at Asorok before they started killing people in 2015? This is a very simple question begging for answers. Before you condemn IPOB, before you condemn ESM, before you condemn anybody, I want to ask you this simple question. When did we pick up arms against the Nigerian state?